Hi everyone, and welcome back to XGate Dental. I'm Emmanuel Kadosh, and we are here to discuss new procedures in the field of dentistry. We will provide interesting new cases to exhibit how doctors use our products to solve complicated dental cases. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us to stay up to date. Today we brought a case that we saw in the laboratory. It's a case from a different doctor. We had 3 implants placed with the impressions taken, and then the impressions were sent to us. Here you can see 3 implants in the lower jaw posterior area. In here you can see that the implants look practically parallel and placed not bad. We don't think that they're new because you can see that there's a little bit of bone absorption. We don't think that the implants were placed this way, but when you look in the mouth and in the scan of the impressions itself, you see a very big problem because first of all, one of the implants is so buccally inclined, which is a very big issue for every type of restoration that would be possible to make, because if you want to make cemented restoration, you don't have enough space here. And the only option is to just leave this implant alone and then not restore on it, but instead restore on the other 2. If you want to have cemented restoration, it's a problem because you want the smallest possible abutment and the smallest possible height for abutment. And for the cementation, that would be a problem. The higher the height of the abutment, the bigger the buccal bulge will be. So if you'll use regular abutments, your bridge will be so deformed and it will be super uncomfortable that there will be no point in using them. Now, in this case, this implant was used with the smallest multi-unit possible, with the smallest sleeve possible. And those 2 implants were with regular multi-units and regular sleeves. Now, not only that, you can see that these 2 screw channels are very small and this screw channel is a bit bigger. This is because in here you can see 1.5 millimeter sleeve, and when using that type of sleeve, the screw is in the bridge itself. It's not in the sleeve, it's in the material of the bridge. So you can't have a floating screw in the bridge. You need to take the screw from the outside, put it in, and you need to close the screw in here, and then you'll see that you don't have a place for the cap for the screw. The bridge will only hold those 2 implants, but the chances for it to unscrew or for the screw to loosen are much smaller if you use 3 implants, because you have 3 implants that go to another direction and the integrity is much better. So in this case, we did want to use this implant, and the only option that was possible is to use the smallest unit with the smallest sleeve. The screw will be in the bridge itself. There's almost no place to close the cap with this screw. What will hold the screw cap was the composite material that will go into the hex and into the screw. If you want to take out the screw, you probably need to destroy the screw altogether. You don't have any walls to hold the cap. You can see here these 2 are placed very buccally, and then these are placed quite normal. And in here you also have crazy angulation. And everything in here was made on straight multi-units. When you can use straight multi-units, you don't need to use angulated ones. It's a much simpler process. Here you see the provisional bridge, the temporary one, not the permanent one. If you want to use angulated multi-units, they are going to be bigger. There is not enough material as it is. You want to make the bridge as strong as possible. So here we have this buccally inclined implant with the smallest multi-unit with the smallest cap. Maybe in a different case, we wouldn't use this implant at all, and then we would have this implant that is normal. And then we have this implant that is very extremely angulated. We could have used the straight one, but it's not relevant because it won't hold. You can see that the buccal bulge is not that big. You'll have a problem with food residue that goes under these bulges, but the question here is if you want to restore this implant or not. If you want to restore, you have a solution. You have a way to restore it. Maybe it's not the ideal way, but you can't make the ideal way of restoration on not ideally placed implants. So you can see here that the implant that were very poorly placed still can be restored quite well with a decent screw retained restoration. And it's not that difficult. Everything here was pretty easy. It's a case that will be very problematic for cemented and screw retained restoration because the implants are not positioned well. And still, you can see that we did have a good result in the end that we made work. Thank you everyone that joined in to learn some new and interesting information. Make sure to stay tuned for more, and of course, don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow. Thank you, and see you next time.